Deep in the central Florida woods lie the remains of a lost spring. This was once known as Milwaukee Springs, a segregated, colored-only recreation area from the 1940s repurposed for Black World War II troops training in the area. Let's go to Alachua County, Florida, and as we walk through this forest, I'll give you some background. So this spring was founded back in the 1920s as Pinkison Springs, named after a Gainesville sheriff named Charles Pinkison back in 1925, and I found a few documents linking him to the site. But around 1940, the spring was renamed to Milwaukee Springs, and perhaps due to the abundance of black soldiers training nearby for World War II, became a colored-only recreation area. Now, about 40 miles away was something called Paradise Park in Marion County, which also was a segregated spring area, and the history there is very well documented. The history of Milwaukee Springs, on the other hand, is contained in one single photo. Milwaukee Springs closed in 1944, likely due to the end of World War II. It reopened a year later as a whites-only spring called Mineral Springs, but in the late 1950s, that was also shut down and abandoned. Do you remember that Pinkison Springs photo we showed you earlier in the video? Well, look, here's that same wall. And just look at the size of this place. It's just kind of amazing to me that an area this big, that was once well known by almost everyone in Alachua County, could just disappear into the woods like this. Luckily, a few local citizens have kept the history here alive, and I gotta give a shout out to Ian. He went to my website, clicked story ideas, and was my guide for the day. He was awesome. Ian, thank you so much for showing me around. Now, recently, the nearby city of Alachua has expressed interest in buying the land and restoring the site, but efforts have stalled, as funding for such projects is in short supply these days. Today, Milwaukee Springs sits abandoned in the Florida woods, in the same spot where 85 years ago, the men who wore the military uniform of the United States of America couldn't even swim in the same damn pool as the folks they fought and died for. Thank you so much for watching Beyond Florida.